Welcome to Beans and Breakdowns, a podcast dedicated to bridging the gap between specialty coffee and the heavy music community. On this episode, I'm joined by Abel, vocalist for the band Big Ass Truck. So grab a fresh cup of coffee and wake the fuck up! What's going on, Caffeinated crew? Today I'm joined by Abel. He's in a few bands. I saw him play in a band called Big Ass Truck, which is as cool as it sounds. But Abel, how are you doing this afternoon?
I am doing very good. Voice is a little shot post-tour, but, we'll get over it.
We're vibing. We'll get there.
Got my liquids.
Yeah, that's, what you got? What are you sipping on?
Water. the life essence. I'm trying to get some tea though. I need to get tea in me, and it's kind of sacrilegious being on a coffee podcast, but whatever works best. Does coffee even help? Like the throat stuff, or is it just to wake you up?
Coffee, apparently caffeine's not good for your vocal cords, from what I've heard from specialists.
Screwed.
So I honestly am not sure or not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That sucks. I've been wanting to do this thing. I've been wanting to, like, one of these shows, try doing pre-workout before a set, see how that goes. But that sounds pretty bad now.
There's a band here, the vocalist. I mean, they've been around for like a while, and he does pre-workout before, or he was doing pre-workout before with like BCAA.
Oh shit, yeah.
For like vascularity, I guess. And he was like, I just stopped doing that because it was drying me out.
Yeah. No, it definitely wouldn't be like a every show deal, because like the amount of energy that I already output during a show, I would be ruined.
I try to do the coffee like earlier in the morning. If I have to play a show that night, I don't want to go past the afternoon with the coffee drinking.
Yeah. No, 100%. That's like all I've heard whenever I first started drinking coffee. It was like the latest you want to drink your last cup is like 3 p.m.
Yep. Which I am breaking the rule right now, but that's okay. It's all for the bit.
Exactly. There you go.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm drinking. Maybe, hopefully not make you jealous or anything, but I'm drinking a coffee. Did you meet, I don't know if you know him or not, but it's this band called Pure Bliss from Syracuse.
I just wore their shirt yesterday, the one with the Smiling Friends guy on it. Yeah.
Yes.
Those guys are dope.
Okay. So Brandon, we just played in Rochester, and Brandon and I have gotten relatively close, just because he's such a nice guy, and we played together a few times now. But he brought me some of his favorite coffee from Syracuse, called Recess Coffee.
Nice.
This is their Ethiopian. It's got like graham cracker and cream and lemon in it. It's got like it's not what I'm used to when drinking an Ethiopian. I'm not sure why, because I roast Ethiopian coffee and I know what it tastes like, but I don't know. It's throwing me off a little bit. It's maybe a little on the darker side than what I usually drink, but
I like darker coffee.
It has its place.
Every time I ask, like on tour, we I think every day on tour, we hit a coffee spot. But besides like Sacramento in the beginning, and every time we went, everyone was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get a macchiato. I'm gonna get a frappuccino." I don't remember the last time I went to a coffee spot and I got an auto type coffee. I just go and I get black coffee and I just try it out. Like, and the darker it is, the more I like it. And I always tell them, like, yeah, man, I like my cigarette water. It's awesome.
A good dark roast. It's interesting. Like finding a good dark roast, I feel like is very difficult.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why, but like for me, I've tried so many different dark roasts and I just can't get past the bitterness because I'm a sweet guy. Like I have something else to show you. I don't know how you're going to react to this. Are you familiar with what this is?
I love those so much. I do not ever, those hate to see me coming. those sugar cookie type deals, dude, amazing.
So they started doing the pull and bake, like the sugary Pillsbury cookies with the ghosty boys on them. And so they sell out at the grocery store like immediately, right?
Yeah.
Like they're gone. So I bought 100. I bought 5 boxes of 20. So I have 100 of these motherfuckers, these little ghosts sitting in my freezer. But this is the first podcast I'm doing in October, and I will be goddamned if I do not have at least one of these on every episode I record for the month of October. So that's just something for everybody to look forward to. Mostly me, but awesome. Everybody.
I haven't had. I always look forward to those each year, and you just reminded me that they were a thing. So I got to go get some.
You better go to Walmart and get like 1,800 of these bad boys.
Dude, last year they sold out the first week, and like all 4 of the stores that were in my vicinity. I couldn't find them. It was crazy.
I just shoved a whole cookie into my mouth. I'm sorry, everybody.
Hell yeah, it's worth it.
There's only one store in my. Can you do that? Some a little bit of a sugar cookie ASMR. The only store in my vicinity that has them sells out like in the first couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Luckily, I live in Canada, which is maybe a little healthier minded than the US.
Yeah, no, definitely. There's not a burger billboard every 30 feet. When we went, I was like surprised. Holy shit. And we went in the Walmart too, and there wasn't just like 30 burger bag, like just sitting in the open.
It's crazy. Like before I moved up here, so I grew up in Savannah, Georgia, and like I lived in South Carolina before I moved here. And I remember like going and buying frozen chicken breasts once a week, and you know, like certain foods that you just have at your house. I moved up here and they don't have any of that. It's all just fresh chicken. How am I supposed to freeze my own chicken breasts? Nobody prepared me for this.
Yeah. That's crazy. A slight culture shock. It's very interesting. I kind of had the same thing with, because I lived in Japan right before I got out of the military. I lived there for 3 years. It was during COVID though, so I kind of got locked in place. Couldn't really do shit. But when I was out in the town and stuff, I was expecting like the same deal. Like, oh, it was gonna be healthy, like a lot healthier, dude. No, it's so much fried crap. They fry everything in Japan, man. It's crazy. The only things they don't fry are like their sushi. The sushi's raw. Like as raw as it could be. Whereas in America, like they'll fry full on rolls and they'll serve it to you. But like they have, I think even right now, I think it's Burger King Japan. They're doing like, I think it's called like the Grandpa Burger or something like that. And it's literally 4 patties stacked on each other and nothing else. Just that and a burger.
We have that at A&W. It's not called the Grandpa. It's something else, but it's.
Yeah, that's right. We got that. That was the first thing we got when we flew in was A&W, and we saw that shit. And we were like, Jesus Christ. It was insane.
Dude, no lie, the Nashville hot chicken sandwich kind of slaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, I usually get that, or I get the matzo burger. It's like they put this special burger sauce on it that they don't put on any other burger.
Oh, burger sauce.
A double patty. Get a double patty.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's badass.
Gotta hit the macros.
I don't think I've ever had a sauce that had burger in the name and it tasted bad. Dude, if it's a burger sauce, it's gonna hit.
It's always gonna hit because it's always the combination of the 3 sauces you want on a burger anyway.
Exactly.
With like everybody kind of tweaks it. Like maybe they'll add pickle, or maybe they'll put like sauteed onions in it or something. But It's always good.
Shit is very dope.
Cannot get stuck on this food thing, but
dude, I could talk about food for hours.
100%. Give me a notable food spot on this story out there.
So let's see. I don't know if have you ever been to the West Coast?
Okay.
Like California, mainly like the Bay Area, Oakland.
Yeah, so I've actually only been to the Bay Area and to like LA and SoCal.
Okay, yeah. So there's a spot. Well, actually, I think it's a New York spot too. It's called Artichoke Basil's Pizza.
Oh,
Yeah. So they're known, as the name implies, they're known for their artichoke slice. And it's literally, my dad told me about it before we went. And he said it's like if they got an artichoke soup or like spinach artichoke dip and just threw it on a pizza. And I was like, no way. And I got it and it was so thick, and he was right. It sounds like, on paper, that sounds disgusting. It sounds like your mouth's just gonna be full of goop the whole time. It was so good. And I had it last year when we did a little couple of weekend runs with my metalcore band Ashiki. And when I had it then, I was like, it blew my mind. So I was like, we got to go back. So for a year straight, a year and a half, actually, I was hyping this place up to all my homies and the entire tour package. And they were telling me like, oh, we got to hit Blondie's, which was like down the street from Artichoke Basil's. I was like, yeah. You know what? You guys take a slice from here. We'll take a slice from Blondie's. And they're like, all right, yeah, cool. So we get there and we get the pizza and we're all eating it. And Sergio, who came up with the Blondie's idea, he's like, hey, no lie, this blows Blondie's out of the water. You don't have to go after all. I was like, okay, man. But yeah, no, Artichoke Basil is probably like, that still holds the number one spot for me. Culver's was nice. Culver's is pretty good. I had that, but like, it was funny, the night before we had it, we hit Boise and we had it in Salt Lake City because we were trying to get it in Boise, but we didn't have enough time before the show. So I was talking to Avery, promoter at Underdog Booking. And he was the one that was setting up that show. And I was like, hey, man, are you a native to Idaho? He was like, yeah, man, what's up? I was like, what's your opinion on Culver's? And would you recommend it to anyone outside of your state? And he was like, eh. And Sergio was right there. He was like, oh, I see what you're doing. You're trying to shoot down the tour. I was like, no, I just want a native opinion, man. Yeah. But no, Culver's was actually really good. I didn't know that their burgers are like, I knew they were like butter burgers, which fuck that is. It's just butter on a burger, I guess. But I didn't know they were smash burgers. I love smash burgers. This is awesome.
Highly underrated, the smash burger.
Dude, literally. And if you get the crispy ends right, Jesus Christ.
Come on. This might turn into a food episode. I don't know.
Oh, literally.
It might. I went to Northern Europe. Everybody who listens to the podcast has heard this a gazillion times. I'm sorry to bring this back up. But I went to Scandinavia. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you, I don't know where they learned it from. Maybe they watched too many movies. Maybe they're on YouTube too much. They make some crazy smash burgers.
No shot. That's highly unexpected from a place like that.
Maybe good beef. I don't know.
Could be that. Take care of their animals.
Yeah. They got good animals, happy animals up there. I don't know. They got, the animals got welfare. They got socialism up there. It's crazy.
They got free Medicare and shit. Damn.
They just chilling. They got a reasonable car. You know, nothing too fancy. Just
don't worry about too much.
How'd you get into heavy music?
So that's a dope question because like Big Ass Truck is kind of a little full circle thing for that. Mm-hmm. So everyone in my band, everyone in Big Ass Truck is very like, they started off with bands like fucking, I don't know, Machine Head, Marauder and shit, like the OG classics and stuff like that. The pipelines to hardcore and all that, right? Mm-hmm. I was very much not like that. Like I didn't learn about Marauder until I was like 20. I literally was raised on grunge, bro. I listened to grunge I listened to grunge music and like metal too, of course, Metallica, Motorhead and all that stuff. But I was like heavy into grunge, fucking Nirvana, Mudhoney, fucking Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, you know, the business. And it wasn't until I was like 15 or 16 that I started like, I was like one of those 8th graders that was like, ugh, screaming, like, shut up. That's so lame. No, I'm not gonna listen to some guy scream in my ear. And then I think it was either Suicide Silence's The Cleansing or Kublai Khan's Balancing Survival and Happiness that broke the mold for me. Um, where I was like, okay, screaming's fucking badass. And then literally since then I had a big like snowball effect and shit. And that was around the time that like Pop Culture Knocked Loose came out and stuff.
Okay.
And then Code Orange Kids was a like mainstream. They were doing that mostly. So like definitely grunge, and then meeting my friends in high school that I eventually started the band with. Learning like little tidbits that they would send me like band camps here and there of like different bands and all that stuff, and I would just like fall into rabbit holes and all that. Grunge music, I say it's full circle with Big Ass Truck because like we're contemplating throwing in certain grunge songs into our set to cover because it's so like on brand for Big Ass Truck. Like we really want to do I know Spoon Man by Soundgarden is in the docket. Like that's a possibility. Like Fuel by Metallica, like all kinds of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So
if y'all did Fuel, that would 100%.
It's so on brand.
Fuel and drop G sharp. Come on.
Insane. Yeah, no. The grunge holds a very special place in my heart.
That's super like that's really interesting because I'm the opposite. Like I got in with like the whole, pop punk, metalcore, and then found hardcore through that.
Yeah.
So it was cool to see that. So it's interesting to have like grunge as like as your base to be like, oh, this is hard. Because you go back and you're like, those are riffs. It's straight up riffs.
Dude, like the riff in Outshined by Soundgarden, it's so goddamn heavy. Like that in itself is an ass beater. It's crazy.
Alice in Chains, hot take, Alice in Chains is a metal band.
Dude, okay, we literally the last couple of days we had an argument that overlaid into the next day about that. Because I get it. Do not get me wrong. But the only one that can like support that argument to the fullest, the only album is Dirt. I think
that's true.
Dirt is like 75% a metal album. But everything else before that is so grunge living. Like fucking dude, Rotten Apple off a Jar of Flies. Mm-hmm. Like, come on. It's so depressing.
Well, I mean, look at who fucking wrote it.
Exactly. But I agree to an extent, and like, I don't know. Maybe it's just because it could just be my nostalgia factor taking hold because I grew up with the idea like, oh, Alice in Chains is a grunge band, and I just didn't change my mind until the argument was brought up in my late 20s. So I don't know. Like I never put it in that perspective.
We had I think it's a couple of times we've had similar argument in the van. It's like, dude, this is a metal band, and of course we're listening to Dirt, and they're like, it's not fucking metal. It's not a metal band. I'm like, I don't know, man. That's a metal riff right there. You could literally play that in a hardcore song and it would work.
Oh, 100%. So, dude, like Them Bones, like that's straight up the metal.
Exactly. Dun 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 dun
yes.
dun dun dun.
That's so hard. Damn.
Yeah. That's that riff. I mean, we might steal it. It's a steal.
Go ahead. Like that's hard as hell. I would too.
They don't play in standard. I can't remember what they play in, but
I think it's like I learned Them Bones in drop D, but okay. I feel like that might be wrong. I feel like they're heavier. Jerry Cantrell strikes me as like a heavier. Like he knows what the fuck he's doing, of course. So,
but his signature guitar is like so random. The G&L
signature.
Yeah,
you said signature. Let me see.
Like his signature guitar, it's a G&L like Jerry Cantrell.
That's right. Okay. Yeah. It looks like a marshmallow. What the fuck?
I remember seeing it for the first time. I'm like, why would this be the guitar? I'm like, first of all, why J
Literally.
now? Secondly, play
He plays
Jackson.
Gibsons, doesn't he?
Yeah, I don't even know why.
Yeah.
I've never even seen a video of him playing Gino.
That's wild.
But they
Oh.
milk it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, from the Inland Empire, obviously.
Yes.
Lots of good bands from the Inland Empire.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember this band or if there's beef, and I don't know. I don't know. Okay. I remember right after the pandemic, there was like this web show that came out from Sumerian Records. I don't know if you're familiar with this.
Okay.
It was kind of like they would get bands to perform and like over like a season, and it was almost like a competition.
Ooh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay, there was a band from the Inland Empire on there called Slay Squad.
Dude. Oh my God. Hold on. I swear to God, we just talked about this. Me and my friends just talked about this. Are they still around? I think
I don't know. I think they because it was a couple of them had like solo rap things going on.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they just stopped because they put out like 4 songs and then they stopped doing stuff that looked like, but I saw videos from 1 or 2 shows.
Yeah, they're from San Bernardino. Yeah, I remember hearing about this. We talked about it real quick in my band, like in our with my homie bands too, the older crowd. But like this was a very quick moment in IE history. I do remember hearing this name a lot, like Slay Squad, and this must have been. I think this was like right when I was in the last moments of my military career. So I wasn't like entirely invested in what was going on, but I remember hearing about it. Yeah, this is funny.
It was just crazy music.
Yeah, the IE's always been like if you cut up County's hardcore history and like the bands that come out of it, it's very like not cut and dry, but like it's pretty straight to the point. Like LA comes with like a lot of hardcore. And they've like the East Coast, like Connecticut has a lot of good metalcore and stuff like that. IE is so fucking wacky, dude. Like what Suicide Silence came out of there, and now there's a band about trucks. Like it's all over the place. But it's all every band that's come out of here has always had like such an interesting sound to it, and it's very distinct. You know. Yeah. Now, whether or not that interesting sound hits for you, that's up to you, of course. But it's very like you would know, given a suspect lineup of sounds, you would know like which one's from the IE and which one's not.
What does it have more to do with like it being much more of like a suburban area? Is that like what gives it that?
I think it's just we're all in the desert and we all have lose our minds. Because I mean the IE is like it's very well known for being like nothing really goes on here, but like everyone that lives here, we have like a diehard soul about it, you know. So like I love the Inland Empire, and I grew up like when I was in bands in high school, I was very against that. Like my little angsty teenage brain was like, man, fuck the Inland Empire. I don't want to be from here. This is stupid. And then I grew up and I was like, no, man, like this shit's dope. I didn't fully grasp the history behind it and like how much cool shit actually came out of here and how much wacky shit actually came out of here. And now I'm just like, oh yeah, no, it's dope. But I don't know. I feel like obviously we're very well known for how many beatdown bands come out of the Inland Empire, because like it's just I don't know. We love ass beating. Which I mean, I'm okay with. I love beatdown. Obviously, I'm fucking making beatdown riffs, but I don't really know what it is that leans us towards that. Like, could be the lifestyle of living in this desert, or just the bands we listen to. I don't know. It's like a big snowball effect.
I mean, start with Suicide Silence, and what do you get?
I know.
Slow it down. Slow it down. What is it?
Like, what the hell were they listening to make the cleansing, man? Like, shit was nuts.
I'd love to ask Garza one day. Like what?
Well, for real.
Like what? How did y'all do that? Like,
what was the pipeline to get to this?
Like I remember seeing unanswered that video for the first time. My friend in high
Yeah.
school showed it to me, and I was like, "So how do we do that?"
Yeah. I think the first, what was it? The first thing I saw from Suicide Silence was that live video of them playing on, was it the Golden God Awards?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about with all the suits and everything?
yep.
That blew my mind. I was like, whoa. Like they, like off of the thumbnail, I was like, oh, is this going to be like pop punk or something? And then like just Mitch just in the center spreading his arms and stuff. Like, oh my God.
I bet they sound like Pierce the Veil. Nope.
Not at all. Very dope.
What's crazy is Pierce the Veil. This is completely off topic. They don't look like they've aged. They look the same since 20 years ago.
100%. I 100% agree. Like Vic looks exactly the same. It's kind of scary, honestly. They got that fucking Keanu Reeves shit.
Did you write the riff for Big Ass Truck?
Yeah. So everything for Big Ass Truck musically, I've done everything besides drums, lyrics, vocals, guitar, bass, and like even the like aesthetic of it all. Me and Andres, my drummer Andres, we started the idea, and then Brett, our guitarist, and Jacob, our other guitarist, they enforced the joke. And by the time we were in the studio, like 3 songs deep, we officially got them in the band. So everything was like pretty much written by then. Like I think every single song besides the 2 promo songs that just came out has been written in the first hour that we were at the studio. Like Big Ass Truck was written on the spot because I brought the sample playback. I brought that in and we just like bounced off of that. Because the sample playback was like real fuck you energy. So we're just like, let's do this. And we just went off, and I think we finished the entire song in like 2 or 3 hours. Big Ass Dog was literally written in 30 minutes. I just like, I was just picturing what a pit bull or like a big fucking dog on a porch sees, and like when somebody looks at them, they just get mad immediately. Yeah, and I think the promo songs even too, they were started on the spot, but like From the Grave took like 4 hours. That one took the longest out of all the songs, and then FOML took like 2 hours the most. But that one was a little like all over the place. It had a feature, so we had to like wait for it to come back, and then we like did some readjustments and stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty much how like the entirety of our music has gone. It's just it's very for fun still, and I'm glad that energy is being reciprocated to the people that listen to it, because I don't ever want it to feel like a job. So I don't ever want to be like, we got to write today. Like I'll just show up and I'll be like, hey, I brought some beer. Let's write a song.
Oh man, that's fun as fuck. Yeah, it's a good thing that y'all are straight edge, because
exactly.
that would never.
We got to make a song about like big ass beer or something, because we already got the vegans against us with beef, I guess.
Really? Did people beef with y'all about that?
No, not really, but it's just like, we can't ever be like, I know, right? We can't ever be like, yo, vegans, what's up? It's just like,
you should. That'd be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, this one's for the vegans. Play beef.
So my favorite song on the promo is Big Ass Dog. I love that shit. I think it's so funny, because it's like I'm listening to the lyrics. I'm like, oh, he's a dog.
Yeah.
With the fact that it took 30 minutes to write, I think speaks to me as a person who listens to music as being like, it doesn't take much for me. I love that. I like beef. The whole promo, what's so weird is like, it is for fun. I listen to it. I enjoy it. I'm like, this is hilarious, but it's cool at the same time. But also there's a concept, which is crazy.
Yeah. The general consensus I've heard from people that like Big Ass Truck is like, they were either shown, like 70% of them were shown Big Ass Truck, and then the 30% that found it were like, I checked you guys out because like haha, what a funny name. And all these song titles are hilarious. But then like I listen and the songs are actually hard as fuck. I was like, yeah, man, thanks. Like I love making fun of stuff. And
Yeah.
like just like comedy in general. Like that was like before when I was like a freshman and stuff, my first idea of what I wanted to do with my life was I wanted to try stand up. And like me and all
Okay.
my friends were like, yeah, let's do all this and stuff. So the fact that I can like still be funny and something I'm so passionate about is fucking awesome. And I love that people get the joke.
As I mean, like I think when we talked when we were at Hold Your Ground, and it's like all of you guys walk in, it's like, oh, there's a big ass truck, and one of my friends was like, oh, where are they from? I'm like, California, and they were like, oh, I thought they were rednecks.
Yeah. Everyone thinks we're going to be from like Tennessee or Texas or something. It's just like
I was
five
like,
Latinos.
no. Just walking in like was it Brett? Brett was wearing the boots.
That's Sergio. Sergio, yeah.
Sergio's
He
got the
was running
boots
the
on.
boots on, yeah. So funny because like I think when the first like 3 months of Big Ass Truck leading up to our first show, I think it was like, oh no, sorry, it was 2 months. March when we dropped the promo, when we dropped the demo. Somebody posted us on Reddit like 2 or 3 weeks after that, and that's initially what like snowballed us into like blowing up. And one of the top comments on that very first post was like, I like to think that this band is just 6 or like just 5 bald white guys, big fat bald white guys. Like Steven 197 Media, he's my roommate, and he was like, I showed this to the vocalist. He laughed his ass off. It's like we are quite literally the polar opposite of that.
The exact opposite of that.
And dude, it's awesome too because like I'm the main guy on the Instagram page. Like if you DM the page, you're talking to me. And I'll see like we got a lot. I'll see like people follow the page and stuff like that. I'm like, oh yeah, they're metal fans. Like yeah. But every so often, like every other week, I'll see some guy that's just like Rick Smith from Tennessee. I love choppers. And I'm just like, I think this guy actually thinks we're a truck page.
Gas trucks. Yeah, brother.
I rock with it. I'm just like, he's going to be so disappointed.
Let's see more Kenworths. I need to see a Kenworth.
I haven't seen a single Peterbilt since I followed this page.
Fuck all these Freightliners, I tell you what.
It's awesome.
And that's hilarious. I feel like I have so many questions, but they're all so easily answered. Like, why the name Big Ass Truck?
It is very simple to answer, but when we were on that run I told you about that we had the pizza on last year with my metalcore band, we were on that run with our friends band Muerte Buena, who had their last show. Our first show was their last show, and then God Awful was another band that was on it, and God Awful is Andres, Big Ass Truck's drummer. That's his other project. They were on the run as well, and we were literally on the drive that was like, it's past Oxnard going north towards the bay, and that whole section is just flat, like nothing. There's like buildings here and there, but it's like gas stations and shit. So, but there's a long like 5-mile road that's like one way each way. And we were driving, we were literally just listening to like ignorant music, God's Hate and shit, like big beat down ass beater shit, and Zabalba, all that fat man music. And I was just like seeing all these semis and stuff. And I was like, dude, I want to start a beatdown band called Big Ass Truck. Like, and they all laughed, and they were like, that's fucking hilarious. That'd be awesome. And then that whole moment lasted, no joke, 10 seconds, maybe. And it was never brought up again that entire ride. And then when we got out of the car, Everyone was like mingling around. Like 30 minutes later, one fucking Andres comes up to me and he like daps me. I was like, "Hey, big ass truck." I was like, "No way." Like, dude, yeah, you trying to do it? And that it didn't come to fruition until like 6 months later. It almost didn't become a band. Like, if I'd have not came up to Andres the day I did, to like 6 months after that conversation on tour or on the run was Mosh for Youth in like October or November or something like that. It was like Mosh for Youth 4. And I went, Andres had been hounding me like, "Dude, I really want to start another project. Like, hey, we're going to start another project. And I was like, "All right, man. Yeah. And I kept like pushing him off. And then I finally went up to him on Mosh for Youth because like I could sense that he was like trying to move on to other stuff. And he already had bands that he was in. I was like, "Hey, man, if you're serious about Big Ass Truck, I will text Manny, our producer who has done all the Big Ass Truck stuff. It's like, I will text Manny right now and get a date set up for us next week." He's like, "Yeah, do it." So I was like, "Okay, there we go." And literally Manny responded within like 10 minutes and he's like, "Yeah, man, I got you guys set up for next Tuesday." And the rest is history. So, but had I not hit him up that day, I feel like he would have been too busy to have done Big Ass Truck because he was already in a bunch of other projects at that point. So,
well, I mean, he's a drummer, so
yeah, exactly. Yeah, they get thrown around. So,
I love like bands that spawn from a joke, but like in a good place. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We get compared a lot to Tsunami, which like, because Tsunami is well known for like having started as a joke band. Like they were just like being overly ignorant. And everyone loved it. And look at them now. They're like doing fucking headliner tours across America. So that shit is like in the band's blood. Like we love doing the whole idea that we started off as a joke and stuff like that. Like bands like that, like Shark Punch.
Okay.
That fucking band, like we compared to them a lot too. I don't know. I've always loved like humor inlaid in music, and especially if it's like the humor's good and the music is good, that's ideal.
You should double down on it.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like, I don't take myself serious at all unless given I need to or something. Like I'm trying to get a job or something, obviously, but if it comes to like something I'm passionate about, why the fuck am I going to take it as serious as like a career? I want to enjoy the thing. I'm not trying to fucking make people like buy my band, you know?
I feel like that's easily sniffed out too, especially now that like if you're online or anything, you're constantly trying to be sold some shit.
Yeah.
It's like, can I just not enjoy it? Like, can I just listen or like, you know, stop trying to sell me shit every 5 seconds.
Exactly.
And it's easily like bands that really are trying to make a career. It's so easy to hear it or look at it and be like, oh, I see what you're trying to do here.
100%. They're just like, yo, we need to make some content or something like that. I'm just like, hey man, I just want to play a show. Like, I just want to see stage divers. That's all.
Big ass promo was sick. From the Grave.
Yes, sir. Best truck to ever live. That was the first monster truck I ever like actually liked. I think it was everyone's like, anyone who's been to Monster Jam has been like Gravedigger. Like as a kid, they came out a Gravedigger fan, like 80% of them, because Gravedigger gets like the most what's the word? They get the most like not fandom, but like the showiness, like the most limelight. He literally comes out with like cultists coming in robes into the arena, and they're like, they're bringing him out like a demon. So it's like, of course, kids would be like, this is dope. It's the same deal with Undertaker. Like Gravedigger is literally just truck Undertaker.
Yo, that's crazy. I haven't thought about it like that.
Yeah, man. Like, just think about how Undertaker comes out. Like, every appearance he's had, especially the ones where he shows up by surprise, it's all like evil energy. He's a demon that just showed up. And it's the same deal with Gravedigger. Gravedigger comes out with all the stadium lights shut off and just his red eye headlights showing, and everyone's like, "Ooh, the scary truck's here." So I've always gravitated towards that like style of protagonist, I guess, because I mean, I think I remember liking Undertaker before I liked Gravedigger, so it just made sense.
Okay. So you're into wrestling too?
Yeah, I have fallen off heavily since, but I will always enjoy it. I've always loved wrestling. Like I was really into it from like I want to say 2006 to 2010, because that was like the era that like what was it? Boogeyman, Carlito, Rey Mysterio, and shit were like some of the peak fucking wrestlers and all that. And that was like, yeah, I remember seeing Undertaker and be like, damn, he looks old. Like on TV. Whereas like if I watched the old stuff when he was in WWF, when it was called WWF, he looked like relatively young still. So I could tell I came into it a little like the rest of the legendary wrestlers were still kind of aged. Yeah, I mean, I've always had like a soft spot for that. The way I like to justify, especially like justifying big ass truck to people, is like it's a good litmus test to see if you can have a friend who is into corny shit. You know, like if you don't like corny shit, and I can't riff with you about corny shit, I'm probably not going to be a friend with you. Like some of my favorite movies ever are the old Godzillas where they're in suits. It's just guys in suits fighting each other. And it's like, if you take that shit serious, I don't want to be your friend. Like you gotta have some humility into like watching stuff like that. And knowing like it's knowing how to take a joke. You know? I love it. In wrestling, yeah, the majority of it's fake, but they have to know how to land. They have to know how to hit. Like you can fuck yourself up easily in that. And like you have to have some like suspension of disbelief to enjoy the thing. So
yeah, it's like buying into the story. But exactly. Then also that dude is essentially a 500-pound roided acrobat.
No, yeah, exactly.
So respect on both fronts, because he's acting his enlarged heart out, but he's also gonna flip like off of some like 60-foot ladder and land. It's insane.
I remember seeing no, for real. I remember seeing like John Cena do what's his move, the STFU, where he picks the guy up over his head and like throws them on their back. When he did that to the Big Show, I saw that as a kid and I was like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, my mouth is just left open. I was like, holy fuck. Like shit like that watching, is not fake.
Like watching, hearing, what was it? I was watching a documentary about wrestlers doing their like finishers and like what the impact has been after doing their finishers for so many years on their own bodies.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about, because I remember Hulk Hogan's talking about his, because he would literally just drop his leg and his spine, I think he said his spine was shrunk by like a couple of millimeters or something like that, because he did it so much. Like his back had like permanent problems from doing his finisher so much, because like people think it's just like on the show, but no, they have to practice that shit like hundreds of times per week.
Yeah.
They have to practice how to land it, how to properly engage it. So doing that hundreds of times a week over decades, you're gonna get fucked up.
For sure. Are you familiar with Tom Scott? He's like this British guy that does he kind of does deep dives into like different things. I don't know how to describe it other than that. I know it's so vague.
I don't think so.
He's on like he's got like a really big YouTube channel. He's been doing it for 5 or 6 years, maybe longer actually. I'm ignorant because he's been big in England for a while, but like I got onto him a couple of years ago. He did one about wrestling. He's like, today I'm going to train to be a wrestler.
Yeah.
And shows you what their workouts are, like what the regimen he's being walked through by like a coach and everything, and then he actually goes to like an amateur match and wrestles in front of a crowd and basically gets body slammed.
Yeah.
But like it's hours of basically one of your workouts is just throwing yourself at the mat over and over again.
Fuck. Dude, screw that, man. Like hours of that, man. Jesus Christ. I would not be able to move.
It's like 100 times. Yeah, it was like 100 times you have to throw. It's called like, yeah, just throws. Then was it like the chest, the cross chest slaps and everything like that?
Those I hear are horrible. I've heard that those like suck so hard. It's just meat on meat. It's fucking horrible, man. I have the utmost respect for wrestlers, whether amateur or professional, does not matter. Like the amount of training it takes to do that, it's a fucking, it's an acrobatic play. Like it's two functions of art. You're doing acrobats, you're doing like calisthenics and shit while also performing. Like that's insane. I don't get it.
I mean, I'm down for it. There's a league from Montreal that they do it about like quarterly. They'll do some pretty big matches at a venue here, and it's like I went to one. I was like, this is so scary because, like, first of all, they do like the light bulb matches and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, the fluorescent lights and stuff.
Yeah, and they'll like do like pizza cutters and stuff like they'll. Yeah. It's pretty intense.
Amateur wrestling is fucked up, man. Like that shit gets all over the place.
Dude jumped off a balcony onto like 3 tables.
Fuck.
Yeah. It's crazy shit.
Amateur wrestling and backyard wrestling are horrifying.
Backyard wrestling is so scary.
That shit is like, how does nobody die like every week from those? It's insane. Like, dude, there's so much stuff like that like wrestling. Yeah. The wrestlers, I don't know how there's not constantly just severe injuries and stuff, but I always think about this in the guise of hardcore. How is there not a death every week at like shows? Because like people stage dive and shit, and like throwing down, you get smacked in the mouth. And do you know how easy it is to like just get killed by getting hit in the head? And people always get hit in the head. And I just, it blows my mind that, thank God it doesn't happen that often, but it just blows my mind that it doesn't. Like the humans are fucking crazy.
I'll tell you, reaching 30 is like, oh, it's just that easy to die. Like,
yeah, exactly, man. Like, dude, you slip in the shower and you hit the back of your head wrong, you're done. Like, I don't get it.
I was at a show actually the day I got back from Hold Your Ground. I went to see some friends that were playing my island in Pale Lake. Yeah. And they didn't have anybody moshing. And so for the last song, I swung, like I just swung back real hard, and there was a forehead there. Dude. And fucking broke my hand in 2 places. And the guy was fine because it was forehead.
Yeah.
But like foreheads are hard.
Yeah. Very, very fucking hard. Dude,
but yeah, it's got me contemplating. It's like, if it's that easy to break my hand, it's like, I don't think I should be doing this anymore.
No, 100%, man. Like
cross-armed by the stage.
Yeah. Yes. Jesus. Exactly. That's the position for the older you get, like the past 26 crowd. But yeah, man, like I had my humble moment in, when I got out of the military in 2022. I got out in I got back home in January, but I got out in April. So I was like going to shows January 2022, since January 2022 again. But it was like September of that year. So 9 months had passed. I went to, this story's fucking ridiculous because the parallels to it all is nuts. But we saw Vane played the Echoplex in LA. And the lineup was Twisted Cane opened, Momentum was next, Regulate, Candy, and then Vane. I feel like I'm missing one, but that was the lineup. And I had seen Vane already, but Vane is my favorite heavy band of all time. So I was still stoked to see them. But I was especially stoked to see Candy because I love Candy. That band is amazing. So we get through the entire lineup, get through Momentum fine, get through Regulate great. Regulate was set of the night, honestly. Like they had an amazing set. So we get to Candy and they're playing and I'm in the pit and stuff because I hadn't been in the pit the entire night, and I get in and I'm just like screaming, I'm grabbing the mic and stuff like that, and they play my favorite song, Lust for Destruction, from them, and the entire time they had the red lights on, so it was just pitch black in the pit, and I'm like an idiot, I'm facing the pit just like bobbing my head, arms down, my arms are not up, I should have had them up. And I see last minute, this guy does a spin backswing with his forearm, hits me right in the mouth, knocks me out. And I had no idea what happened because it knocked me out for like 3 seconds. I landed on some guy and he like shoved me off. My homie David was right there. He kicked the guy that hit me in the chest. And like I bounced out of the pit and I'm just leaking blood all over my face. And my friend Angel, who's the vocalist of my other project, Bayori, he was talking to Jeremy Baum from Touche Amore, just shooting the shit with him, and that's like one of his favorite bands. So that's like an awesome moment for him. And I walked past him, I'm like, "What's up, man?" Just covered in blood. And Angel's like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "Yo, you should clean that up." I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm gonna right now." And I guess Jeremy was like, "Is he good?" And Angel was like, "Yeah, no, he'll be fine." So that happened, but like the only reason that I missed Vane because of that, but the only reason I missed Vane was because I could not remember for the life of me the Regulate set. It had completely gone out of my head. Like he knocked me out. Yeah. And I was like, oh man, like my girlfriend at the time, she was telling me like, yeah, Regulate was probably my favorite set. I was like, Regulate? So, and she was like, "You don't remember?" I was like, I cannot remember the Regulate set because I remember it being like a good set, but I don't remember anything that happened in it. So I was like, God damn it, I gotta go. And so we went to the ER and shit. And then this is why I said it was a crazy night, because that night, we went with Angel, the guy I told you about, Jacob, the now guitarist of Big Ass Truck, and a couple of our other friends that were in my band Ashiki. So it was like a 6-party that went together. But during Vane, fucking Jacob gets knocked out too, and he lands wrong and breaks his leg. So I'm at the ER, and he calls me up. He's like, "Hey, what ER did you go to?" I was like, "Oh, so and so in LA." And he's like, "Okay, we'll be right there." I was like, "What? Why?" He's like, we just got fucked up." It's like, "You're fucking with me." I legit, they were just thought they were messing with me, and then they walked through the door, and he's like in a wheelchair. And I was like, "Oh my god, man, what the hell?" All my friends got fucked up. I got knocked out. Jesus Christ! So that was a fucked up night, but I mean, it was fun. That shit really put me in my humble place, like to chill out.
Yeah, I got Montreal, I would say, is like, it's good for moshing, but if you mosh like you're from a city in the States,
yeah,
it's different. Like it's just violence.
Yeah.
But the first show that my band Bruiserweight played in the States was in like Western Mass, which is like, I mean, all the metalcore bands. And so we played this show, this band called Upon Broken Apologies was playing, which fucking sick band.
Yeah. Sounds dope.
They're on stage. One of their friends is in a pit. This like little, like, he had to be 19 years old. Like this child was in the pit moshing. And I was just standing on the side, so far away, like so far. Yeah. But this man managed to reach his long ass leg far enough from the center of the pit to kick me, the only person on the whole side. And I mean, I should be angry at myself. I know where not to stand. I was like, this is cool. There's nobody here moshing except that one kid. There's no way he's going to hit me. Boom. Breaks my fucking rib. I got to go on after this band and play a set.
Fuck that, dude. Oh my God. That's like a number one fear. Because, dude, there's some lineups that I get on that I'm like, oh, I can't wait. Like this tour, we had a band. There's a band out here called in the Bay Area called Four Winds Away, metalcore, very metalcore band. They just put something out on the Coming Strife. They put out a little EP. It sounds amazing, but like the entire tour package for months since this tour has been announced and that they were on it, not us that they were on it, we were hyping it up like, dude, 4 Winds Away, man. 4 Winds, we're gonna fucking, the entire package is gonna be in there. And I was just like, dude, I want to mosh so bad, but I cannot get fucked up. And if you go on YouTube and you see the video of 4 Winds Away playing, that pit was fucked up for an opening band and their first show ever. That was a fucked up pit. Like it was insane. There was easily 200 people there at least. And the entire pit was just so fucked. Bro, they have a playback in the beginning of their song, their first song on the demo, Between Each Breath. And the playback's like 50 seconds long. And it's literally just violins like sounding heavenly as hell. And some kid got his fucking whole front row of teeth broken in during that playback. That's like saying I'm going to listen to ASMR and you just got your face broken. Yeah, he caught a shin, I guess, or like a heel to his mouth. Fuck. And it literally broke his entire front row of teeth in like a crescent shape. It was fucked up. But I guess he got it fixed recently and he's good now. But like during the playback that happened. So the music itself was so insane. I moshed for the first minute, and then I was like, I can't get in there. I'll get fucked up, and I won't be able to play. I know I will. And I had also only brought one pair of glasses, so if those broke, I was fucked.
I bring an extra pair of glasses. Yeah, that's fucked up. You gotta be safe out there, you know.
Yeah, you gotta calculate your mosh.
Straight, like, yeah. When the first time I saw Murda come through was with Steve Space Cowboy and Foreign Hands.
Oh, that's a dope ass lineup. I love Steve Space Cowboy.
It's very sick, and it was like their last day of tour, and so like my band that I was in at the time opened, which was very sick, and then I think it was Omerta, then Foreign Hands. Yeah, Omerta comes up, rips obviously because they're fucking sick.
Yeah,
get off stage. Gus, everybody's in the fucking pit. Like Soren, everybody is moshing from Omerta for Foreign Hands. Like crowd killing. There wasn't even like maybe 100 people there. And they were just fucking everybody up. They're fucking like straight up. And I want to tell him like, dude, what is wrong with y'all? And he was like, what do you mean? I'm like, you're on tour. He's like, it's the last day. He's like,
that's awesome.
So is this all your stored up mosh aggression is just coming out on these poor northern free healthcare having people? And it's just like,
literally, dude. Like, bro, our one of the band that we toured with, Ruin, their vocalist Noah, known mosher, known SoCal mosher. He's in like fucking 50 million fucking videos, 197 videos and shit like that. Everyone knows his face when you see him. If you're from SoCal, you've seen him in a video and you know, like he's at a show. The entire tour, he moshed every single day for multiple bands. And I was just like, I would be so scared. Like one fuck up and the tour's done. I can't risk that. But he's a very like he's pretty built, but he's got height on him, so he's got that linky mosh. So it just he slips through the cracks, I guess. I don't get it, man. Like he moshed that much and didn't get hurt once. And he played sets still. I don't fucking get nuts. It. For fucking
if I mosh 5 times, 4 out of those 5 times, I'm gonna get hurt.
Exactly.
And yeah, it's fucked up. I don't want to have that on my conscience.
In Portland, actually, because Ruin was running a cover of Propaganda by Sepultura, and Portland was like our fourth stop of the tour, or it might have been our fifth. I gotta look at the list again, but I had moshed like probably two or three shows up until this point, and I was like, something about Portland was, I guess it was the energy behind it. I was like, this is fucking hype. So I got in for Propaganda. I was going to side, and I would go one side, okay, go to the next side, hit the side to side, and my shoulder, like I felt it too. I think it popped in and out real quick. Cause when I like reset myself after that, I was like, okay, I'm done. I think I'm done. And the next day I literally can't sleep on my side. I couldn't pick anything up with my right arm or anything like that. I was like, I almost fucked myself this whole tour. So literally after that, I was like done moshing the whole run. I could not risk it.
And this episode's got everything. It's got food talk. It's got old man mosh body problems. There's something here for everyone.
Exactly. We're hitting all age gaps.
What does Big Ass Truck have coming up that you can talk about?
That I can talk about. Let me see. So we it's funny. We started the band like we don't want to play a lot of shows and stuff like that. Like it was just a side project for now. We're not going to play a lot of shows, but we got a lot of shows coming up. So like it kind of took storm on our lives. So, but we got Mosh for Youth. Let's see. Well, next week on Wednesday we're playing with Kublai Khan. I don't know when this episode's going to come out. I'll probably come out after that or something. But next Wednesday we're going to be opening for Kublai Khan and sing with Sugabog at Chain Reaction. So we're doing that. And then on the 12th of this month, we're going to be in Arizona on a fest that has like, no joke, it has like 3 of Andres, our drummer's bands on it. God Awful, Cold Stare, and Big Ass Truck. So he's going to be running sets all fucking night. But yeah, it's a benefit show. And we're going to be on there and with our boys in Ruin too. That's in Arizona, Tucson, Arizona. And then after that, Mosh for Youth, which is on the 19th. Very, very dope cause, getting scholarships for kids in SoCal. And then we're going to be taking a little bit of a break, tiny break, month and a half, maybe. We got For the Children. We'll be working on a set, all that stuff. So we'll be playing For the Children. Yeah. As for next year, it's kind of, we got some plans, but it's mostly up in the air. Like we're feeling it out, but we've gotten some dope offers here and there. We're going to see how it goes. We definitely want to hit, we want the Ruin Ass tour to run again. So we're going to try to do an East Coast thing sometime next year. Would really love to do that. So we'll see how that works out.
Be sick. If you need Montreal, let me know for sure.
We'll definitely be hitting up there. So
we can set that up.
Docket. That'd be dope.
Yeah, that would be very sick. I know that y'all would do really well here because everyone here fucking loves Kublai Khan. Everyone in Montreal loves Kublai Khan. If I had $1 for every single Kublai Khan shirt I have seen just walking around in public, I'd be a wealthy-ish man.
Yeah, that's very dope. I love Kublai Khan. It's one of my favorite bands of all time. So.
I love them. Abel, this has been very fun. Much more wrestling than I expected, but it's good because
always dope.
I'm down for the wrestling. Just got one last question for you before we go.
What is up?
What's your favorite city for beans and breakdowns?
My favorite city?
Yes.
Fuck. Here, I'll give one off of this run that we just did. Damn, that even feels rough. For probably, and I think the tour package can agree on this, Tacoma. That place, like, way before the tour, I lived in Bremerton, which is like across the river from Seattle. I lived there for a year with my dad, and when I left, I immediately knew I wanted to live there for like my entire life. And a decade goes by like a decade and a half, like 15 years goes by, and I'm going back with my band now, and I'm thinking to myself like, damn, I gotta see if it still holds true. Like, do I want to live there still? And then we get to Washington, and I'm like, yep, this is exactly how I remember. Like, I love this place so much. So probably Tacoma area, or like Everett especially, is just calm, beautiful, and the coffee was fucking amazing. We had this place called Kraken. The shop was called Kraken Brewery, and the coffee was insane. Like, even just the Americano was blowing my mind. So good. Definitely at Tacoma, Everett.
Pacific Northwest, certified coffee place.
Oh, 100%. They know what they're doing.
They do. They've had hipsters before hipsters even existed.
That's so true. The fact that's where grunge came from, like, come on.
You're gonna look at a grunge musician and tell me that's not a hipster? Come on.
Exactly.
Well, Abel, again, thanks so much.
Thank
really
you.
Appreciate you hanging out.
Yeah, this was very dope. Thanks, man.
Cheers. Thanks for listening to this episode of Beans and Breakdowns. I want to say a huge thanks to Abel again for hanging out on the podcast. If you haven't already, be sure to check out Big Ass Truck. Listen to the fucking promo, available on all streaming services. If you've enjoyed the podcast, please subscribe and leave a review. You can find out more information about the podcast by following us on Instagram at Beans and Breakdowns, or on the web at beansandbreakdowns.com. Until next week, be sure to stay caffeinated and wake the fuck up.